Greetings to all my Negro friends and my non-Negro friends. Welcome to the program. It's Burning Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. It's time. It's about that time, y'all. Time to make a change. Yep. We are the people who can do it. Who was that? The Winans? Who did that? Teddy Riley produced that for the Winans? I think I got that right. You got to be elderly to understand to know what the reference is. So we will keep it pushing. I appreciate you guys joining us. You know, we get here when we get here. It's all good. Everybody showed up on time. You are right on time for the program. And I shout out to Swery Ferry. I shout out to Holly Horn. I shout out to Bruv Latif. I shout out to all the folks that always. So who are them? Hey, peace, infinite bruv, infinite content in the building. Appreciate Ode to John. Thanks you, Ode to John. Ode to John, run the pockets. I'm sorry. I don't know you like that, Ode to John. Let me get out. Let me take my hand out your pocket. Let me put my hand back in your pocket a little later. When we push out the cash platform. You guys, so you can tell we are in need of funds because when it's time to start asking for money, the girls come out. So, I mean, I need y'all to. Hey, Dre, with or without, we saw your pectorals popping the other day. See, you was coming on to make salient, serious points. I just didn't want to objectify you in front of everybody like that when you was dropping knowledge, y'all. Dre, with or without, go check out Friday's call-in show. Dre, with or without, dropped historical knowledge I was not aware. I didn't know they was lynching Italians to the point that Italy was like, all right, enough. Enough is enough. I didn't realize that, Dre, with or without. So thank you. I'm gonna go down that global historical rabbit hole and get more information. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for so much for that. Who else we got up in here? Peace, Wendy. Thank you so much for making some time to hang out. And of course, my son Tyler. Yes, Gen Z is going to save us all. Donnie Bird, afraid not. Thank you so much. Lady Alice, thank you so much. You guys go back to Black Liberation Media today. Ear Doctor reran our classical breakdown episode with D'Angelo. If you had not heard, D'Angelo tragically passed away. I want to say a little bit more about it towards the end of the program, but woo, Gen X. That one hurted. That hurted. So anyway, gang, let me move along here. Do me a favor. I want you guys to smush that screen. Please engage with the video. These are some stories that I had pulled last week, but unfortunately, everything's still applicable. The shit, these stories did not age. I guess good or bad is a matter of perspective, but you guys, it's not looking cute in America. Shout out to everyone that's watching us from outside of America. You might be safe. We are not safe. The Estados Unidos is very, very, very peligroso right now. Is that the right word, Rosalba? Am I using my Spanish? Right. Let me not speak my Spanish too fucking loud. Them niggas might come knock at my goddamn door. I mean, like, excuse me, miss. We heard you. Because that's what it's come to, everybody. The deployment of Homeland Security and ICE forces at a more accelerated and aggressive pace in cities across the country continues to happen unabated. In spite of the government shutdown approaching 3 weeks or 2+ weeks at this point, Trump and his Gestapo forces are like, slow down for what? The ICE Homeland Security budget still very much percolating. So let them ramp up their so-called immigration enforcement. And it's not immigration enforcement. We are witnessing straight up state-sponsored domestic terrorism applied very harshly in communities, unfortunately, that have long endured this kind of treatment. I'm guessing what's the difference now, y'all? Is the difference that more cameras are out? Is the difference that it's more indiscriminate? Is the difference that Fifth Amendment due process is 1,000% out the window? Like, I feel like we have all, not we all of us, but this is not a new moment in America's story, right? I was looking at the historian Tad Starmer make the point that I have actually been making. I was like, okay, white man, come through. But this is big 1850 Fugitive Slave Act energy. If you don't know what the Fugitive Slave Act was in effect, while America was very much still doing the slavery, and not just in the South, as people seem to erroneously think, oh, they abolished slavery in the North. The fuck they did. Okay. I mean, maybe it eventually got to that point, but they was very much still doing slavery in New York City, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They was doing fucking slavery. And guess what? In 1850, for Africans who had the audacity to escape the plantation and escape the slave system, so-called drapetomaniacs. I count myself as a drapetomaniac. I am absolutely not psychologically okay with being in bondage, especially in the US. But so when escaped Africans would make it to the North to alleged safety, whites of any stripe, police, deputy, law enforcement, they were taking any white could be deputized into becoming a slave catcher. Any white. Well, I'm sorry. Any white male. Well, I'm sure white women was not engaging the system with clean hands. We know this already, but to the whatever. But my point is this. Any white, any fucking white could be deputized to apprehend any black person, free, enslaved, escaped, or otherwise, and put them back into bondage. And this is unfortunately, tragically, what is now happening with our immigrant neighbors and friends and family, and regular and other regular ass black folks in this country. But anyway, there's that. But here's the thing, y'all. The joke is I'm sorry, I didn't mean to burp in y'all's ear. That was extremely rude. The joke is actually going to come down on the whites, because here's the thing. Black and brown communities have experienced varying levels of terror, white nationalist terror, state-sponsored terror. Regardless, this shit ain't new to us. The white folks, however, not so accustomed to having their rights violated. And in spite of a victory for people in Portland, Oregon, who managed to secure a ruling from a judge that said that the National Guard could not be mobilized in Oregon, and on the heels of another judge in Illinois issuing a temporary restraining order against ICE for 2 weeks, against ICE and Homeland Security, precluding them from, I guess, brutalizing protesters, from brutalizing members of the press, amongst other activities. And of course, the Trump administration doesn't give a shit about any judge's ruling, to the extent that White House senior official Stephen Miller, and probably white man with the most unfortunate face ever. How did DNA even come together to assemble that face? Like, yikes. There's some men breeding back there somewhere. Regardless, I digress. So Stephen Miller was asked on CNN about what he thought about these rulings. And maybe you guys have seen this clip. Maybe this clip caught fire on the internet. I don't fucking know. Maybe it didn't do anything on the goddamn internet, because the sky is falling. There's literally 10 the sky is falling stories every single day. So I can understand how some things may get missed. But Miller made a key admission that some are speculating he realized he done fucked up when he put these two words together and allowed them to fall out of his mouth before the whole plan seemingly has been able to come together as how the Trump administration intends to 100% seize power away from, I would say, away from the legislative branch, from Congress, but Congress seems to be giving that power away. So I guess you can't seize power away from someone that's offering it to you freely. But the Trump administration seems to be seizing power away from the judiciary, possibly the weakest link in this so-called three branches of government formation to whatever the fuck we have here in America. So anyway, here's Stephen Miller making a key admission, but seemingly understanding that he stepped in it and or maybe played his hand a bit too early, just too early to announce the wholesale authoritarianism. But anyway, you guys take a look.
The district judge's ruling, you've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you after a quick break. Stay with CNN.
Technical issue, you say? Well, many thought that it was actually not a technical issue. Maybe his ADD had his Adderall, rather, not the ADD itself, but the ADD medication. You know what I'm saying? That Vyvanse, don't be fucking around. That Adderall kicked in a little too quick. He got a little too ahead of himself, jumped the gun a tad bit. Plenary authority means that the president can do any fucking thing. I don't think it says that in Title 10 or whatever the fuck he's referencing, because it doesn't suggest the founding documents of this country, as janky and, loopholey as they were, initially declaring Africans as 3/5 of a person. They did take considerable steps to separate the branches of power. And plenary authority means that the president would have unquestioned, unqualified authority to do anything. Okay? He doesn't have that power, as we know. But clearly, the White House intends to seize that power. And we can deduce that from their illegal moves, everything they have done so far, especially to terrorize immigrant communities, to move forward with these mass deportations, to hold people without them being seen in front of a judge. The president likely intends to revoke the writ of habeas corpus, which means produce the body in a court. If you're going to charge people, or you are going to seize them and hold them, denying their freedom and their access to legal counsel, then you are absolutely denying the writ of habeas corpus, which is, I'm not sure if habeas corpus is European in its origin. Likely not, because all the Europeans did was cherry pick other greater civilizations' best ideas and say, "Hey, we made this shit first." Incorrect. So my guess is that Europeans did not initially come up with the writ of, the idea of habeas corpus, that a person has to be seen in order to be judged, instead of disappeared, which is what ICE is doing. And to be clear here, this is being applied to immigrants today. It's always been applied to Black people and Indigenous people. Think of residential schools. Indigenous children were thieved away from their homelands, away from their familial and cultural structures, and disappeared basically to residential schools. So all this shit is very on brand. This is all very American. Trump just giving us a 2025 steroided up version of it, right? So there's that. But hold on, where did I want to go next? Because everything that is being allowed to happen to Black and brown people, white folks, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, and it is going to come your way. And in some ways, it has already come your way. So hold on. Where do we go in here next? So, this part. Did you guys hear, and I'm sure you did, that the Department of Defense, War, the Department of Erectile Dysfunction, I don't know, the Secretary of I don't know, Pete Hegseth looks like the spokesperson for a Cialis commercial, regardless, or Rogaine, I'm not really sure. But anyway, Hegseth announced that the government of Qatar, the military of Qatar, would be building an Air Force base in Idaho, which is hilarious in a lot of ways. Idaho is a very red state. I believe Idaho triple trumped. Do you think the good white folks of Idaho signed up? No disrespect to the Qatari people at all. But here's what I suspect. I won't say I know because I've never been to Idaho. I suspect that those good Christian MAGA folks did not sign up for a bunch of Arab Muslims to come to their fair state and set up military shop. Oh my goodness, Trump is selling this country out. So hold on, which by the way, hilarious in a lot of ways. But check out Hegseth here openly saying that, I mean, he not openly, but obviously everyone can read through the lines. Qatar, a big donor to Trump, specifically the purchaser of that $400 million would be Air Force One substitute, the replacement. I'm not really sure what the intent was, but it's very clear that a quid pro quo is happening underway right in front of us, where Qatar has provided the president hundreds of millions of dollars, at least that the minimum that we know about, in incentives and personal enrichment, and now in return of all countries, not a NATO country. not one of our NATO buddies. No, not even one of the G7 homies. Qatar. I might be saying it off very Americanized. My deepest apologies. But anyway, run the Hegseth clip, Will. Hilarious.
Today we're announcing, or so proud that today we're announcing, we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
So a couple things. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not personally freaked out that Qatar has an Air Force base pending on U.S. soil. After all, the United States military operates 800 military bases around the globe in lots of people's other countries. I think it's okay that America gets occupied. I'm not so dismayed that America is being occupied by a foreign nation. I find it hilarious where this occupation is going to take place. Again, Idaho, known white supremacist hot spot. The white supremacists go so hard. Earlier this year, an alleged white supremacist took shots and I do believe killed a number of firefighters from a fire department which had participated in the burning down of a white nationalist compound like years ago. I mean, they don't play that inclusive shit in Idaho. Their politics make it obvious they're not here for inclusion. Where are the good Qatari soldiers going to get some halal kebabs? Anything? What? I don't think it's going to be a friendly situation. But hold on. I wanted to note this. Canada, rightfully concerned. A Qatari Air Force base. Not to say that Canada and Qatar have explicit beef per se, but obviously Qatar is a puppet state of the United States. So, you know, if Trump or Hegseth were to direct the Qatari military to execute a preemptive strike on Canada, given that the Air Force Base is slated to be built in Idaho, and that is adjacent right there on the Canadian border. I know Canada is mad. I actually saw reports indicating that, yes, Canada is indeed not pleased with this announcement, nor can we blame them. So there you go. Some other white treachery, white on white treachery. The United States stabbing Canada in the back. Well, they're all genociding assholes, so let them stab each other in the back. It's fine. But I would imagine for MAGA folks, period, regardless if they are Idaho residents or no, this announcement probably comes as a bit of a slap, right? And it's hard to deny that Trump, yeah, I'm talking about for people that are Trump supporters. I don't see how, I just don't see how MAGA folks could still look at him and not believe that he is enriching himself based off the power of the position that he holds as president. He clearly is doing that. Oh, well, his kids are doing the shit. Okay, do you believe that? If you are, you're an idiot. You're a moron. You think Trump is not being kept well apprised of what the balance sheet is since he's regained the White House? Come on, be serious. So I don't see how white America doesn't feel taken as a result of that. But then there was this video making its rounds on TikTok last week, and this one really caught my attention because it is from a pregnant white woman. Maybe you guys saw this clip where we're about to hear from her. But my point is this lady's a Texas resident. She claims she is MAGA and pro-life. But yet when she realizes that her high-risk pregnancy could actually put her life in danger, and when she's made aware by her healthcare provider that, oh no, baby, they will let you die. Okay, like, oh, make no mistake about it. If something goes south in this pregnancy under these new laws, these fetal heartbeat and blah blah blah, no abortion under any circumstances, especially past the detection of a fetal heartbeat. Oh yeah, if your pregnancy goes south in your last trimester, they'll let you die in the state of Texas. So prepare yourself for that, is the message that she received from her healthcare provider. But the men in her life seem to be giving her different advice. And this is where I need MAGA conservative white women to really get a hold of your fucking selves and understand that your culture doesn't value you as a person. They value you as a breeder, as an incubator. But wait, I'm gonna show y'all the video and then I'll come back and add in my two cents. It's a valuable 2 cents though. Will, let's go ahead and run that clip.
I live in Texas and I'm pregnant with my third baby. And I am pro-life. I always have been. There is no greater gift on this earth than a child. But I am kind of freaking out right now. And I'm starting to regret the way I voted, the way I've been thinking. And honestly, I'm scared for my life. I'm older, so this is a high-risk pregnancy. I had my first two babies, I did home delivery. I delivered them at home. It was painful, but it was no problems at all. This one, I'm older and it's high risk, so I had to go to a different doctor than I usually go. And she's, all the way in town. So I have to drive, 40 minutes in town to see her. So in this third trimester, things are getting a little bit tricky. And she said to me today, she said, you need to start making plans to deliver this baby out of town. You need to spend the next few weeks out of state. I don't know anybody out of state. I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, well, you're very high risk. And we're monitoring this baby closely. But if the baby's heart rate slows down, if we think the baby's life is at risk, you could die. And she said the reason is because in this state, you're not allowed to operate on a woman who loses the baby. You have to go into labor naturally and you have to deliver the baby. You have to go into labor and you have to deliver the baby. And if you have a dead baby in your uterus for that long, you could go into septic shock and die. And I was like, what on earth are you talking about? And she was like, well, it's all about abortion. And she told me that these late-term abortions, I mean, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I literally thought that babies were born and mothers were killing them. Doctors were killing the baby after it was born. I thought late-term abortion was an abortion. You end the pregnancy because you don't want to have a baby. but she said late term abortion is just a necessary procedure when you lose the baby inside the womb to protect the mother's life. I was like, what are you talking about? Then, of course, I call my husband and he's at work and he's like, that's dumb liberal doctor. Don't listen to her. We're staying here. Let's find a new doctor. Honestly, I don't know what to believe because for my entire life, okay, I'm 35. My entire life, I believe that late-term abortion is somebody saying they don't want their baby. And that's not allowed in the state of Texas, obviously, because I vote for Trump, I vote for MAGA, I vote for Greg Abbott. But they're telling me it's actually something different. It's a life-saving procedure to save the mother when the baby has died in the womb. That's insane. That's not allowed? I have to make plans out of state? I don't know anybody outside the state of Texas at all. And I'm not going to have an abortion. Why can't I if my life is in danger, why can't I save myself? I have 2 kids at home. I'm freaking out. My blood pressure is through the roof. I have no idea what to do. Somebody who's from a different state or somebody who's a doctor, just please explain it to me because this cannot be real.
There's so much to unpack there. This is why male-centered women are a danger not only to themselves and others. Your woman doctor who is educated, experienced, and obviously aware of the law, laid it bare in front of you. You're high risk. If the baby dies inside of you, the state of Texas is perfectly fine with you approaching death's door before any surgical intervention will be legally allowed. Okay? The doctor was clear. This lady, admittedly, as she said, she's pro-life, a MAGA. I voted for Trump, Greg Abbott. I called my husband. Girl, look at the men letting you down all around. The men you voted for, the man you are married to, the man she's married to told her, well, don't listen to that dumb liberal doctor who is giving her life-saving advice. We're going to find another doctor. This is the thing. All women are worthless to evangelical conservative Christians, period. If you're not here to be a wife or a mother, then you literally serve no purpose. You are ungovernable and probably dangerous. You're probably a witch. You should probably be burned at the stake. They don't want women to have any autonomy, okay? And I really hated for this lady that she is in this way finding out that abortion care is indeed health care, okay? To discover at your big fucking age, at 35 years old, 35, to have never popped open a Google query and asked, what is late-term abortion? No, you were perfectly content to listen to the Laura Ingrams and the Megyn Kellys and the fucking Fox Newses of the world to literally get information that informs your actual life. And that's why I hate when people talking about, well, I don't really get political. I don't be into politics and shit. Nigga, politics is into you, whether or not you want to be or not. And this woman, grossly uninformed, and not to say that even if she had voted different, it wouldn't have made a difference in her state of Texas, right? It'd have been nice if there was a few more million educated, what do you guys think her name is? Paige? What's a good one? Amanda? I don't know. what's anyway, fuck it, I can't make fun of white people right now, but my point is this, because you guys know I'm a humanist on every level. I do feel for most people, except for terrible evil people. I have no idea if this lady's terrible or evil, but I hate to see it. I do hate to see it. And again, this is the ways in which white people have played themselves by playing into this MAGA agenda. You see, she thought that she was voting pro-life to take rights away from those that would kill poor babies, that would kill babies in their final trimester because they just didn't want to have a baby at 6, 7, 8 months pregnant. Well, that's their fault. It's a responsibility. It's not a choice. It's a child. Okay, bitch. But now when your pregnancy turns south, when you have the high risk pregnancy and now you risk septic shock from the effects of a pregnancy gone wrong, not at any fault of the mothers, which happens very commonly, okay? this is, and then her husband. Again, look at the MAGA man mentality. Like, just giving his wife any old kind of advice. Don't listen to that dumb liberal doctor. In the back of his mind, and of course I'm speculating and projecting here, but this is what I think the men of this particular political ideology, I really believe this. They don't care if they lose their wife in childbirth. They're just go get another wife. You know what I'm saying? Just go get another wife. You know, of course they can find a woman that will be willing to step in and be a mother to these poor motherless children. If their pregnant mother dies in childbirth or dies from some other sort of complication, he'll just get a new wife. That's the quiet part that they don't want to say out loud. But that is 100% what they believe, honey. Especially conservative MAGA women, white women, your husbands really don't like you. They really don't love you. You are a means to an end. You keep their bloodline going. Whether or not you pass away, he's probably got a nice insurance policy on you, sweetheart. The family will be fine, okay? And they will always mourn and memorialize you on your birthday and on Mother's Day for the sacrifice you did to possibly bring another life into this world. Even if that life also does not make it into the world, you sacrificed your own, because that is what they believe women are expected to do, to sacrifice their independence, to sacrifice their health, their happiness, all for the family. And that's what they hope you get. Let me say this real quick. So there was a story, and I don't have the link handy. 404 Media. Do you guys remember couple months ago, maybe a few months ago, I told you about, and this was a story coming out of Chicago, excuse me, about how Texas law enforcement authorities were trying to subpoena the license plate reader data from a company called Flock. Okay, Flock is one of the LPR license plate reader companies the data savages that snatch all of this data from, you know, cameras, traffic cameras all around the country, and archive it and basically make it so that they are able to plot and track your movements no matter where the fuck you go. Well, one of the towns in Illinois kind of took issue with this information Flock allowed, or rather provided, to Texas law enforcement. And as a result, this township, or what do they call them in Chicagoland, this village in Chicago, decided to review or outright end their contract with Flock because of this particular issue. Well, it turns out 404 Media did an extensive investigative piece, because it turns out the reason why Texas law enforcement was trying to subpoena this license plate reader information from Illinois allegedly is because they were trying to build a criminal case against a woman who left the state of Texas seeking abortion services in the state of Illinois, where we know Illinois has good, I guess, abortion policies, and a lot of the blue states in the mid-Atlantic and Midwest and Northeast are seeing a tremendous influx of people seeking abortion care coming from the South and coming from abortion restricted states. So the state of Texas apparently was trying to build a criminal case against this woman who left the state to get an abortion in the state of Illinois. How did Texas law enforcement even know that this lady was trying to get abortion care? Because the guys that the law enforcement from Texas used as to why they wanted this information is because they were concerned, allegedly, that this lady may have experienced some sort of medical distress, and they wanted to check on her, make sure she was all right, do a welfare check. Well, turns out Texas law enforcement even was made aware of her situation through her abusive ex-partner, who was seemingly trying to turn her in, tell on her to authorities that she left the state in order to receive abortion care. And the state of Texas law enforcement tried to deny that this was the case, but 404 Media did some really good investigative journalism. I encourage you guys to go seek out the piece and read it up for yourself. But white women, this is y'all's reality, not white women, everybody. Dawn, this is not your reality. But I'm saying for the MAGA white woman in red state America and conservative America, again, none of this body intrusion is new, nor is it ever acceptable, but it's definitely not new to Black, Indigenous, and brown women, right? This is, we have endured forced sterilizations, all kinds of shit, all kinds of government and institutional intrusions into our bodies and into our reproductive systems more specifically. But white women have not experienced this level of dystopian erosion of their bodily autonomy. You know, that was just for the Black women. That was for the enslaved women to get their children snatched. What happened? What? Yeah, this is what's going on. This is the real deal. Conservative MAGA women, white women in particular, coming from red states, this is your reality. The males in your lives, in your family units, your husbands, your fathers, I don't think they care a lot about you so long as you can produce the next generation. And if trying to produce the next generation compromises your health or outright kills you, well, they're going to miss you. This is for my homies. They'll light a candle for you, you know, a couple times a year, but the show doesn't stop, baby. The white race must produce. And if you can't produce it, and if you die while trying to produce, but many are concerned that these kind of laws, like on the books in Texas and other states, that abusive ex-partners or partners or whatever the fuck, ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands, are going to start going to law enforcement as a means of executing some sort of revenge against their former woman, their former, you know, lady partner, and telling on them if they go to seek abortion services. Like, this shit is, I can't say it's about to get real because it's real right fucking now. And let me also not forget to mention the Latina midwives in Texas that are currently under persecution by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who is bringing criminal charges against a specific woman. I can't recall her name off the top of my head, but he called them a cabal of abortion providers and fake doctors. Sir, they're called midwives. Okay, they're called midwives. Midwifery is a practice that is thousands of years old. You know, Kim Paxton, we know you don't know shit about the female body nor about world civilizations or history, so no one would expect you to know about what midwives do and their very important role for birthing people. But these folks, which I believe serve predominantly low-income Black and brown communities, are under criminal persecution. I can't say, I don't know what charges specifically have been levied, but this is real. Okay, this is real. Law enforcement is going to follow the license plate readers for that woman right there. Imagine right now if she actually did figure out that she should leave the state of Texas for the last few weeks of her pregnancy. Would she be tracked? They're going to run the license plate readers on her vehicle, on her rental car, on her father's pickup truck as they drive her. I can't even think to fucking where. Like, Texans and people that know the abortion map, what that looks like. If this lady's coming from Bumblefuck, Texas, that's exactly where it sounds like she lives, where the fuck is she going? New Mexico? Colorado? Maybe Colorado. That's a long goddamn drive. And she's got 2 kids. Man, listen. White folks, the jig is up. Y'all been played. I would say 2, but I don't think the overwhelming majority of Black and browns were ever fooled as to what this MAGA administration was capable of. But white folks have been fooled. And as an unwise man once said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. Let me tell you something. I hate Bush with every fiber in my being. The funniest shit this nigga's ever said. The funniest shit. I was like, sir, that is not how the saying goes. But this nigga said this shit with authority. Like he knew that was. Oh, man. That's the thing about America, everybody. Every time you think America has hit the fucking bottom, I knew in 2000 that George Bush was the dumbest fucking thing to ever inhabit the White House. Boy, America said, "Oh, Kim, how silly of you. You know better." What else did the white folks do? Hold on. Will, do I have that story about the 29-year-old white man? I can't remember if we played that clip. It's after the pregnant lady clip. I don't remember we checked that one. Can you let me know?
Yeah, you want me to play you the clip a little bit so you can hear it?
I think I know what it is. I just don't remember because I smoke a lot of reefers. I don't remember us playing it or me hearing it when we were going through the clips. It's cool. I just want to make sure you had it. Thank you, though. Hey, can we do some quick acknowledgments? I saw a box.
Yeah.
Singular in
Shout out to
nature.
everybody in the chat. Infinite Content, Latif, Sweary Fairy, Vesper X.
Thank you, guys.
Who else? We got Stoner Loner, Cynical, Afraid Not. Let me see. Yipper. Shout out to Yipper. Shout out to New People. Shout out to Twitch. PJ Fire, what's up?
PJ.
Ozalba, we love you over there. What else? Cynical. KJ Zakuma he funny.
What say you? What you say?
No, just saying KJ Sakuma, shout out. He funny. He in the chat, giving them hell. Shout out to Holly Horn. Who else? All right, and I'm just Silberg.
Did we get a donation? I thought I saw a donation.
Yeah. Lady Alex in solidarity from a nice C racker. And
Lady Alex, you have to be racist to be a cracker. The cracker's very specific. See, I don't think a cracker would have ran us a super chat.
Nah,
I don't think
that's how that works. And Infinite said, "Can the Fire fans stand up and sing with me? I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Okay.
I understand what you're saying. The leopards eat your face party, and the people voted for the leopards eat your face party, and they're like, I didn't think the leopard would eat my face. They're eating your face. It's not delicious, as you can imagine. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Oh, shout out Tyler too. He in the chat. If I missed you, my bad. But I was trying to shout out everybody. But keep liking, keep sharing.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Cynical. Thanks, KJ Sakuma, Stoner Loner. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, we got 330 people in the chat too.
Is that right? Well, there's something called hype points. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm like, what's the difference between hype points and likes? So apparently YouTube, you can engage with hype points. So engage with hype points after the live or whatever the fuck that means. So push buttons. I don't care. I mean, I do care. Okay, I'm a hush. So hold on, guys. Thank you all so much for watching Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We do this Tuesdays, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, white folks, you've been fooled again. Yes, you will get fooled again. Shout out to the WHO. So they announced, I'm sure you guys saw this. Again, some of these stories are from last week. I didn't give a fuck because guess what? Oh, these shits is still applicable on today. Okay. Everything I wanted to discuss on Friday is still very much applicable on fucking Tuesday because there's so much going on. And I won't even get into 3i Atlas. Shout out to F's. Jesse, Franny French in the building. Shout out. So the announcement coming from California is that they found the alleged arsonist, the person that burned down Pacific Palisades, literally the entire town, which claimed 12 lives and untold amounts of I would say property damage, though I don't like to emphasize property damage value. Obviously, the 12 people that perished is the most important thing. But when the white folks got to understand is that all of this Antifa talk coming from the White House, all of this left-wing radicals attacking us, the evidence just doesn't seem to bear it out. Okay. from assassinating Charlie Kirk, from killing 3 law enforcement officers in York, Pennsylvania, to shooting up the Mormon LDS church in Michigan, to shooting at ICE agents at ICE detention centers. It's not looking like the left. It's looking like y'all. It's looking like y'all. And I know even some of them are like, Kim White's is on the left too. Yes, but the common denominator here is white. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of attention being paid to why are white people doing the things that they're doing? Why are they shooting up churches? Why are they killing their own favorite political activists? Why? And I'd like to know why this white man decided to allegedly burn down. I don't think he was from Palisades, but I think he lived there. So let's go to the presser real quick, because again, this is what the face of domestic terrorism looks like to me. Okay. This is what this shit looks like to me. Okay. White on white. But anyway, we'll go ahead and run the package, please, or clip. Oh, wait, that's not it. The clip, okay. It says 29-year-old white man. It's on the dock.
Hold on, sorry. I think the number got mixed up.
Un momento, por favor. We're going to get to those clips also, too, because I do want to check in what's going on in Chicago. Very impressed with the level of pushback and resistance that we've been seeing in Chicago. Thank you to whomever wrote up some support. We will get to it here shortly and momentarily.
I got it up.
Okay. Go ahead and run it when you're ready.
Jonathan Rinder. Today, we are announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht for igniting a fire that ultimately burned down the Palisades earlier this year, killing 12 people, destroying more than 6,800 structures, both homes and businesses, and damaging over 1,000 more buildings. The complaint unsealed today charges the defendant with destruction of property by means of fire, a felony that carries a mandatory minimum 5-year federal prison sentence and is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison. The defendant was arrested yesterday on a federal criminal complaint near his Florida residence. The allegations in the affidavit are supported by digital evidence, including the defendant's ChatGPT prompt of a dystopian painting showing in part a burning forest and a crowd fleeing from it. Late last New Year's Eve, Rinderknecht returned to Pacific Palisades after working the evening shift as an Uber driver. 2 of his passengers told law enforcement that he appeared agitated and angry that night. After dropping off a passenger in Pacific Palisades, Rinderknecht parked his car and tried and failed to contact a former friend. He exited the car, walked up a nearby trail, took iPhone videos at a nearby hilltop, and listened to a rap song whose music video including objects being lit on fire. The defendant had listened to this song and watched its music video repeatedly in the days leading up to the Lockman fire. 12 minutes into the new year, environmental sensing platforms indicated that a fire had started. It took the defendant several tries to contact 911 to report the fire. He fled the scene in his car, but turned around after passing fire engines driving in the opposite direction to fight the fire. While the Lockman fire burned, the defendant walked up the same trail from earlier that night to watch the fire and firefighters, using his iPhone to take short videos of the scene. Although firefighters suppressed the blaze, the fire continued to smolder and burn underground within the root structure of the dense vegetation. So that fire started on January 1st, and it smoldered underground for about a week until on January 7th, heavy winds caused this underground fire to surface and spread above ground, causing what became known as the Palisades Fire.
So can I say, even though I am of the belief that this is the individual that likely set this fire, some of the details offered up there make me really uncomfortable. I'm not going to even hold you. I'm sorry. Stop talking to Chat GPT and telling Chat GPT all your fucking business. Okay? Chat GPT, very much like your smartphone, is a fucking snitch. Do you understand? But I don't appreciate the fact that the person, in this case, 29-year-old Matthew Rendernecht, fucking whatever his name is, Matt, this is big Matt energy, by the way. This is tremendous Matt energy. Matt asked Chat GPT to what? Create a couple thumbnails of a dystopian fire thing? I'm sorry, is this evidence? does this go to intent, or is this part of his imagination? Is this something that he's allowed to do from his own creative license with his personal AI things to create images? I don't think creating images a la free speech, I don't think there's anything illegal about that, nor do I think that should be considered as evidence, right? I hope Matthew's lawyer doesn't get that included or gets that excluded. But also, he was watching a rap video where the shit was burning down. I'm sorry. Why is this being announced at the press conference? Is this evidence? Or you're trying to use this person's thought and artistic preferences against them somehow as a means of indicting him, further indicting him based off shit that he watched and shit. I mean, did he watch the YouTube video titled "How to Start a Forest Fire" or "How to Start a Wild"? And like, unless he's watching that YouTube, you can actually keep the fact that the rap video he happened to enjoy featured images of a fire, or that he created Chat GPT images depicting a fire. I don't really think that means much, and nor do I think that should be included in, I would hope, a jury's evidence when they are presented this case. Like, please disregard that shit. Like, he's allowed to look at that shit. But did he, and to be clear here, from the position of this platform, BIDWKB, he's innocent until proven guilty. However, also per this platform, BIDWKB, he absolutely fits the profile. Okay, Matthew fits the description of exactly who I think would burn down a town. And not because that's my opinion. It's because this is what white men have done in America throughout its entire history. Okay, if you don't believe me, go Google the shit. Way more than Tulsa, way more than Rosewood, Ocoee, Memphis. That's just the ones that were burned down by violent white domestic terrorists. I could name many other towns that were captured by the white domestic terrorists that held elected positions that used eminent domain violently against Black and brown communities throughout the whole entirety of this country's existence. But who has traditionally burned down town? The whites. So yeah, FBI, I'm glad y'all were looking in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did do your due diligence in racial profiling this time, because we know who does what. Usually. But I gotta say, I'm a little disturbed by the collection of evidence. And it doesn't sound like a slam dunk case. I'm sorry. The man started a fire 7 days prior. And y'all want to come to him about starting a fire that started up on the 7th when he started it allegedly on the 1st? Like, what? I don't know. It doesn't sound like a strong case to me. But no. Innocent until proven guilty, but I believe Matthew did that shit. I believe he did that shit. But, we'll see if whiteness prevails. It sometimes does in courts of law. Oh, absolutely. So hold on, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Ugh, everything hates me on that stupid thing. Go away. No, not you. Sorry. I'm trying to look at things on my document. I appreciate y'all joining me on here on tonight. I think we are ready to move along to what is going on in Chicago. I love Chicago so much. Like, you, and I love Philly. Okay, wait, let me start over. I love home. I love Maryland to pieces. We actually have some Maryland tribute love, some Maryland appreciation coming up a little bit later in the program for our palate cleanser. I love DC. I love Baltimore. I love Philadelphia. I fell in love with Chicago. Fell in love with Chicago. James, you lucky bastard. Well, actually, it's approaching wintertime, so maybe not so lucky. But Chicago is an amazing city. Chicago has long had a deep sense of resistance from Black folks, from Fred Hampton, from the Haymarket riots. Like, Black folks have been with the shits, Latinos have been with the shits, working people have absolutely been with the shits in Chicago. And with the acceleration of Homeland Security, I'm trying to watch my words here, my phrasing. I'm trying to watch my phrasing here, because Jackie said we shouldn't call them ICE agents because they're deputized Proud Boys, deputized Oath Keepers, deputized 3%ers. These people are very likely not federal agents. They are not sworn agents. They have been deputized in the way that every white was eligible to be deputized after the passage of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. These same ICE crackers have been deputized to terrorize and pursue, to kidnap, to disappear, to send to work camps, or to deport them to third countries entirely unrelated to the person's country of origin. This is what these fucking crackers are out here doing. And they're taking it to Chicago, and Chicago said, not fucking today, Satan. So I only have a couple of clips. Will, we're going to do me a favor. Let's run those two clips back to back. I don't need to pause in between them. So let me give you guys, again, some content warnings, some trigger warnings. And to be clear, these are not the, when I say the best videos, when I say the best, I don't mean the best. I guess maybe not the most sensational. I mean, in the shit you're going to see is pretty fucking jarring. Okay. The first clip is we got some sisters giving ICE the business, telling them to get the fuck out the block, get the fuck out the neighborhood, get the fuck out Chicago, which is a sentiment that I've seen echoed very loudly from residents in Chicago proper and across the Chicago land. Let us big up the folks here. Shout out to Aurora, East Aurora, Waukegan, Broadview. They out here letting these motherfuckers know you not welcome in Chicago land. Get the fuck out. The second clip is a little bit more disturbing, where we are actually going to see ICE agents use their vehicle to violently take down a person, a woman more specifically. So I want to give you guys content and trigger warnings behind that. But just to give you an idea, like, it's getting worse in terms of their tactics. They've already killed a couple of people in Chicago, confirmed killed one, shot a second woman. I have some details about her story and coming up here. But anyway, well, let's go ahead and just run those two clips back to back. And again, content and trigger warnings for state-sponsored white nationalist violence against residents and citizens of Chicagoland and, of course, the United States. So let's take a look.
You in the fucking way! Over here fucking harassing people! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! What you fucking waving for, bitch? Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out of our fucking neighborhood! La amiga! La amiga! La amiga! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! You dumbass bitch! You go first. You go. Go ahead. No, you're good. We're... La migra! 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 La migra!
Que cierren las puertas No hable con nadie, no firme nada. Aquí viene la migra. Fuck you guys. Go the fuck back to Texas.
Get a
Fuck you
real
guys.
job.
We don't want you guys here. Fuck you guys. SUV is S913460. S913460. Aquí está la migra. Toyota, black Toyota 4Runner. Aquí está la migra. Cierren las puertas. Pieces of shit. Go back to Texas, you piece of shit, you fucking coward. Fucking Nazi. You fucking Nazi. Fuck you, you pieces of shit. You fucking Nazi. Hey. Film. Aquí está la migra.
This has and guys, as disturbing as those images are, there are way worse encounters being documented with residents and people who are encountering these so-called ICE agents and Homeland Security agents. Oh, by the way, a special fuck you to Chicago Police Department, who have been also filmed assisting, escorting, trying to make sure that the ICE agents are able to perform their duties unencumbered. This in spite of what Mayor Brandon Johnson had to say, and even fucking Governor J.B. Pritzker, because in the protest scenes outside of the Broadview ICE facility over the weekend, it was Illinois state troopers out there. Move back to the protesting line, trying to disperse protesters before the 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. protesting curfew was set to expire, which, by the way, fuck off to whatever Democratic politician put a curfew on when people could exercise their freedom of speech, their First Amendment right. Oh, you can only do the protest and your freedom of speech between the hours of 9 and 6. Get the fuck out of here. whoever proclaimed that. And a special fuck you to J.B. Pritzker again, who dispatched the Illinois state troopers, if not the governor. And I'm sure and smart folks are going to be like, well, Kim, well, actually, the Illinois state troopers can be dispatched. That's fine. But the point is, if J.D. Pritzker didn't want the state troopers out there, he could recall them back. He did not. So, ICE in Chicago behaving terribly, doing terrible things. One of the people that was part of a community response team, by the way, can I shout out to all the community response in Chicago? It has been absolutely incredible to witness. They are organized and they continue to get more and better organized, seemingly with each passing day, right? There is a very concerted and seemingly efficient efforts and means that the communities have been notified that ICE is in the area, which vehicles to look out for ICE for, how to identify certain agents, mask off, mask on. The community response has been tremendous. And as a result, the Trump administration, including Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, has promised that they will redouble their efforts, whatever the fuck that means, probably sending more Gestapo into Chicago. There's that. Obviously placing the community at risk. And one community member, a woman, can I say that the way women have been showing up as fucking warrior princesses, maybe not princesses, but maybe fucking warrior princesses, goddammit. We warrior princesses out this bitch. The way women have been showing up as fucking warrior princesses out here has been actually remarkable. And one woman was shot several times by ICE, and she survived only to face charges, which is incredible. But the local Chicago media did something that I wasn't expecting, right? Because we know U.S. media, period, operate as cop stenographers, meaning that whatever the official narrative put out either by police or by federal law enforcement agencies is what local media or media outlets writ large will use as facts. They will report it as facts because it came from an official source. It came from the police. It came from FBI. They are trained, journalists are, to treat those sources as primary and as, top of the hill, right? That's a credible source. Well, gang, you and I, well, I'm a trained journalist, but we all train together. Fuck it. We know that the cops lie. And I've so long wondered how journalism students are being instructed in university settings. When you're dealing with institutions that persistently lie, like how much credibility can you give them? How much weight should you give to their narrative or their version of events when they have been proven historically and repeatedly to fucking lie to cover their ass? So there's that. So anyway, the ICE, Homeland Security, whoever the fuck, I was not being forthcoming about the shooting of this woman whom they allege attempted to ram their ICE vehicle convoy with her own car and made a big deal about her even possessing a gun in America. This ain't fucking Australia, bitch. Everybody got fucking guns. Be serious. Like, anyway, the pearl clutching around it trying to drive me crazy. But anyway, let's check out the package here. And again, I want to not give too much credit to Chicago media, but at least they're questioning the police version of events, which most media outlets do not do. So let's take a listen.
ICE agents, 2 civilians, and we're getting more details about a controversial incident involving ICE agents, 2 civilians, and what Homeland Security says was obstruction. But new information and inconsistencies are making people question the government's version of what happened.
Court records reveal Border Patrol agents on the scene were all equipped with body-worn cameras on October 4th. When this shooting took place, only 3 cameras were actually activated.
Female call station been shot in the arm and legs, and the ICE agent shot her.
Talking to the agents over here. That individual was the lone driver of that vehicle and was part of a caravan that were trying to interrupt ICE operations at the time of the shooting. She's potentially going to be an offender at this point. Let's make sure we keep an officer with her.
Now we're learning Miramar Martinez was following ICE agents in Brighton Park, not Broadview, as Homeland Security claimed. She was allegedly alerting residents to ICE patrols in the area, and behind her was Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz. He followed in a separate SUV. Federal officials said in tweets and in their narrative to the media that agents were, quote, boxed in by 10 cars, and that one driver who rammed them was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. But witnesses say agents were not boxed in, and police scanner audio confirms Martinez's gun stayed in her purse. She's a U.S. citizen with a valid concealed carry license and wasn't charged for having the weapon. Photos show Martinez's dark-colored SUV hit on the passenger side. Ruiz's black SUV was damaged in front and only minor damage to a silver federal vehicle. Martinez was shot 5 times. The Chicago Sun-Times reports that her lawyer said in court the body cam footage shows just before the shooting, an agent was seen holding an assault rifle and saying, quote, do something B-word. The case raises serious questions about the government's narrative.
The weapon is still in the purse. The vehicle does have what appears to be first damage on the passenger side, as if it was side struck with another vehicle.
A spokesperson for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem called the incident part of a broader pattern of violence against immigration agents during the Trump administration's Operation Midway Blitz right here in Chicago. Martinez and Ruiz, they are not in custody, but they are charged with forcibly assaulting, impeding, and interfering with a federal law enforcement officer, which carries up to 20 years in prison.
Shout out to Miramar Martinez, heroína. I don't even know if that's how you say her. The hero in Espanol, but all of the platitudes, all of the superlatives. Yes, big up to sis. That is what you do. That's how you show up. And first of all, I am so appreciative that she lived to tell the tale. I mean, shot 5 times. It could have went another direction, but I do have more details coming, I believe, from the Chicago Tribune about this case, which is, again, one of a lot of examples of people, in particular women, putting their bodies on the line to impede these illegal ICE activities. It's been brought to my attention. We have a troll. We have a back the blue troll in here. How'd you get in here, troll? How'd you find your way? This is a cops ain't shit. This is a platform that abides by the ethos that cops ain't shit. And if you say that ICE is law enforcement, I don't know that they're law enforcement. If they're law enforcement, why did they cover their faces? Where are their badges? Where are their badge numbers? See, that's what law enforcement does in America. As shitty as it is, they at least identify themselves. So, if the state fucks you up, you have some sort of recourse. But again, those that would trade their liberty for security deserve neither. And that sounds like you, troll. Back the blue. Go fuck yourself. So anyway, the Chicago Tribune did some follow-up reporting about what the federal government has to say about what our sister Miramar, our hero, she can come sit with us anytime. Okay, we fucks with Miramar out here. So yeah, Will, let's run that package real quick. The clip. Do we have the Chicago Tribune clip, Will?
Sorry, that was one too. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay. Un momento. Peace, shipper. I think that's shipper. Get these motherfuckers the business in here. Trolls, you're welcome, but just make sense. Just try to make sense. You don't mind ICE and Homeland Security running over the Browns, and they're coming for your pobrecito gringo ass, culo. Okay? You better live in a nice neighborhood. Because if you don't, oh, poor Whitey, you are next. Hate to break it to you. But maybe you're a wealthy white. You don't have such worries. That's nice. Must be nice for you.
Yeah, we don't got that one.
You played it for me, sir.
I played it already?
No, you played it when we were checking the clips before the show.
I thought I just played it just now.
So that was the package, and then there was a white boy talking by himself.
Okay. That's what this is. All right. This was it. Yeah.
Caught by ICE in Chicago just got released from jail. A judge ordered Miramar Martinez released from federal custody. The woman shot by ICE in Chicago just got released from jail. A judge ordered Miramar Martinez released from federal custody on Monday, and her attorney made some really eye-catching claims in court. My Chicago Tribune colleague Jason Meisner was there. First, her attorney said that body camera footage showed that just before the shooting, an agent was talking to her with his hand on his gun and said, "Do something, B-word." And second, he said the body cam footage showed an agent turning his car apparently into Martinez's. Of course, federal agents have said that she crashed into them. The federal government's attorney argued that Martinez was part of a convoy that was driving erratically to chase and follow ICE agents. He said that the video showed agents saying, "Getting boxed in. We got to get out of here. She's going to make contact," right before the car was struck on both sides. There were 3 ICE agents there who had body cameras, but only one was using it. According to Martinez's attorney, after the shooting, one of the agents walked up to the one who had a working body camera and asked what happened, and he said, "Hey, don't speak," pointing to his camera. The attorney added this: "It's dangerous, but it's not Miss Martinez who is the danger." The ICE car, by the way, had an Uber marking on it. I talked with the attorney today to ask for that video. He said that he can't share it yet because of court rules, but it might come out in court. He also said that the gun that Martinez had was legally possessed because she has a concealed carry license and was in her purse. Martinez has no criminal history. I learned that, of course, when I did a background check on her this weekend. Her co-defendant, Anthony Ruiz, was also released. This is an interesting case. I know a lot of people care about it. I'm going to continue to follow it, and I'll share that here alongside my Chicago Tribune colleagues. We'll keep sharing the news.
Thank you to Chicago Tribune. And really quick, where is the National Rifle Association, the NRA? Where are all these pro 2A groups, right? You put my code in hands. Where's the pro-gun crowd? Where's the Second Amendment crowd coming to the defense of this woman? Miramar, the goddess. Miramar, my hero out here. Miramar was carrying the legal concealed weapon. Again, I hate the fact that the inclusion of guns always is like a pearl clutching detail included in not this gentleman, but the previous package in local, especially television media outlets. And there was a gun found on the scene. Oh my God, who has guns in America? There's only 440 million of them. But anyway, Metamar's gun was legal. She's a citizen, and her gun came with a concealed carry permit. She was legal on every right. So why is this lady being persecuted like this? Where's the Second Amendment crowd coming to her defense? And she was responsible with the gun, kept it in her purse, even though she herself was under threat from one of these alleged ICE HSI thugs. Said, do something, bitch. Right? 2 reports now we've heard that the officer had his hand on either, did they say an assault rifle? Looked to her and said, do something, bitch. You guys, there are nothing but hundreds, if not thousands at this point, masked incels, misogynists who have been doing nothing but acting out their fusion Call of Duty / Grand Theft Auto fantasies with federal authority. Okay. They are running people over with their vehicles. They are shooting people on the streets. They are disregarding public safety when it comes to pursuing anybody that they perceive might have an issue with their immigration status. They don't care if people are citizens. They don't care if people are legal residents, green card holders, people that are legally pursuing asylum claims. Okay. They don't fucking care. It is the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act. Okay. But we're not talking about enslaved people. We're talking about free people, allegedly in the freest fucking country, in the most liberal democracy in the world. And this is America once again continuing to show its colonial racist ass, not giving a fuck about its own constitution to the extent that it ever did, because the Constitution does not apply to you donkeys. It does not apply to you bitches, okay? As the white woman in Texas is finding out. This shit is for property white men. That's it. Cisgender ones only. They made an exception for Lindsey Graham because Lindsey don't sport his Lindsey keeps his boy toys behind closed doors. So they let Lindsey in. But my point is this. If you are as far away from cis heteronormative white maleness, you're in danger. You're on the menu. Okay. If you are not able-bodied, you're on the menu. If you are a pregnant person, you're on the menu. If you are part of the LGBTQ, you're on the menu. Black, brown, indigenous, you know the routine. This is this is standard operating procedure for a lot of us. But the sleeping giant of moderate and or conservative white folks has to be awakened. Okay. And here's the funny thing. They really swore that they don't know what they did upon the assassination of Charlie Kirk. You've awakened a sleeping giant. Okay, what? I'm sorry. Your kind does not need an excuse to demonstrate violence. Non-specific violence against whoever's convenient, right? So miss us with that. But can the white women who live in abortion restrictive states wake up? Can the working class of folks that are watching even their small businesses flounder under Trump's tariffs, the white farmer that is crying the blues about watching Argentina get a $20 billion soybean bailout while their prices are getting all fucked up based off Trump's tariffs? Like black people and indigenous people and other groups have been in the streets for literally decades. When have the whites come out en masse except to do January 6th, which I supported, by the way. I love January 6th. I'm looking forward to January. You know, we celebrate January 6th on this platform. It was a day that will live in infamy. We loved it. But we just need to, we need, if you want or don't want your rights infringed upon the way that you have seen, I'm talking to white people here, the way that you have seen black and brown people's rights be consistently infringed upon, the time to get into the streets and say no is right fucking now, because I don't know why you think you're exempt from this. You're not. And I want us to go to the clip, Will. I think it's the clip about the WGN employee, because this was a clip I think went a little viral. Maybe it didn't go viral. Who knows? But we're about to find out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. So-called ICE Homeland Security agents deputized Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers on the streets of Chicago. I think this clip is actually coming from Chicago's north side. And I want y'all to see how they did this white woman. And I want y'all to see how they did this white woman who was what? Minding her business. Now, usually white people are allowed to mind their business without being harassed or let alone being brutalized by police. That is shit that is behavior usually reserved for black and brown people only. Okay. They normally don't bother white people minding their business, but this lady found out in the hard way. So anyway, Will, let's go ahead and run that clip, please.
No! No! We are at Lincoln and Foster. We are at Lincoln and Foster, and they just took this woman off the street. I am recording you. What is your name? What is your name? WGN. Debbie Proctor. You know your rights, Kate. Stay silent. Oh my.
Yep. So that video was filmed by a bystander, a woman who says she was in a taxi, I believe, headed towards the airport, where she saw ICE agents grab and accost Debbie Brockman, who is an employee of WGN, which is a heritage legacy media outlet in Chicago with the newspaper and the TV and the radio. WGN been out here doing it for a while. She was thrown to the ground and detained by ICE agents who claim, again, so-called ICE agents, who claim that Debbie Brockmeyer, who works for WGN, though not as a journalist, I'll get to that in a second, they say that she threw items at them, and that's why they brutalized her in such a way, threw her to the ground and detained her. She was later released. She was not arrested. She did not face any charges. WGN came out and said that Debbie Brockman, not a member of their news team, she works in their creative services department, which in my experience, people who work in the creative services department either do the web stuff or they produce like the promos, like WGN News at 5, you know what I mean? And they'll splice in clips, and like that's what creative services, amongst some of the stuff that they do. So she's not a journalist and not necessarily part of their news department. However, what was interesting about the way that she was treated, this came, I believe, the same day in which the federal judge released or announced a temporary restraining order placed upon ICE and Homeland Security forces about the way that they engage, with the public. That the judge decreed that ICE and Homeland Security, for example, could not deploy chemical munitions like pepper balls and tear gas without at least giving a couple of verbal commands to disperse, right? I believe ICE has already violated that part of it, right? They were also enjoined from harassing or impeding the work of journalists and members of the press. Now, that was kind of the question here with this treatment of Debbie Brockman, because she said she worked for WGN. People were wondering whether she was a journalist or no. So formally, she was not a journalist. However, she does work for a media outlet, and I don't know whether or not she was documenting ICE activities. I am highly disinclined to believe ICE's narrative of what they say she did. Does Debbie look like she's just about to start throwing shit at fucking at Homeland Security? I mean, she might be about it. She might be part of the John Brown Brigade, but Debbie says she was on her way to work. Okay. That's part of the reason why she announced that she worked for WGN. She said, can you let them know that I might be running a little late to work because the police came around here and put their hands on me. So I believe that she and her attorney are looking into filing some sort of civil action. But again, y'all, what are civil suits going to do here when, number one, it is us, the federal taxpayers, that will be paying out these lawsuits, which, by the way, people should be compensated from the federal government when their officers behave illegally. But here's the thing. There's too much uncertainty about who is actually who is legitimate, who is actually sworn officers in these scenarios. And to be clear, even if we were dealing with sworn officers, it would be an uphill battle to try to get some sort of recompense for police brutality. But I want to hear from Democratic Congress people. Like, are y'all looking for the resolution plan? Like, when this shit is over, and that's God willing that it ends, right? We might be stuck in this purgatory of Trump 2.0 indefinitely. Who knows when it's going to end? Maybe God will call him back. Well, it wouldn't be God. It would be El Diablo calling him back home, to where Trump came from. Trump told y'all himself he not going to fucking heaven. So where he think he going? If Trump know he ain't going to heaven, where is it that Trump know he going? Exactly. So when his master calls him home, then maybe it'll be over. But in the meantime, I need to know, what is the plan from all these Democratic senators and congressmen who have all this awesome shit to say on social media? How do you plan on identifying these Gestapo officers and prosecuting them? Like, holding them accountable under the law. They do not have qualified immunity if they're not sworn officers. And even if they fucking are, they are regularly violating people's constitutional and civil rights. You don't get to claim qualified immunity if you're not adhering to the law. So what is the plan? Democrats? Because it's going to be Democrats. Republicans are not going to try to find out and identify and hold these ICE officers and these Homeland Security people accountable. Fuck no. If Democrats ain't talking about what get back looks like, then I don't fucking want to hear it. So anyway, gang, I'm going to depart. I'm going to leave you all. I want to thank you all so much for everything that you do. I want us to run the palate cleanser real quick, and I'm gonna come back and say a couple things about the tragic passing of R&B singer D'Angelo. But before I say that, this brother that we're about to see from our palate cleanser is a brother I featured here before. His name is Daddy Something. His account is called Daddy Something on TikTok. He is the African bruv who told us about the African sisters in Europe who love to date white men, and they call them Umbutu. And he said, I think he was talking about the Kenyan sisters, and particularly he said the Kenyan sisters who run through the German clubs talk about Umbutu. So this guy is quite hilarious. I love watching his content, and he lives here in the DC area. I think he lives in, like, he said it himself. I think he said Hyattsville, Lanham. He called it's Lanham, Maryland. He called it Lanham. And he has been touring the DC area, rather enjoying the different towns and cities, but he went to the beach. Now, for those that do not know, Maryland does have a beach town. It's called Ocean City, Maryland. High school graduates flock there as a sort of Maryland rite of passage. But once you get grown enough, you don't really kick it in Ocean City, especially if you're Black. Why? Because Ocean City is racist as shit. Okay. Everybody knows this, except for this brother. And maybe he didn't encounter any racism, but he seemed to really be impressed with Ocean City's offerings. Which, can I say this as a beach snob? I'm not impressed usually with mid-Atlantic beaches. Get them nettles and them jellyfish the fuck out of here. No, I need to be able to see to the bottom. I digress. But anyway, you guys, I hope you appreciate his reaction to Ocean City, Maryland.
Why didn't you guys tell me about Ocean City? Oh my God! Why didn't you guys tell me about Ocean City? Oh my God! Oh my God! If you are a friend and you know about Ocean City, I hate you. No one ever told. I had to discover Ocean City in the comment section. You guys, it's giving Miami and Maldives and Turks and Caicos Island combined together. You guys, look at the streets. Let's forget about, look at the beautiful empty beach. Oh my goodness. I swear no one ever told me. I've never been, this is my first time here. I swear, I'm not exaggerating. It's my first time. I swear Bible. It's my first time coming here. I've never been here before. I saw it in the comment section that I should go to Ocean City. I thought it was a joke. And then today I said, let me just drive to Ocean City. And I realized it was almost like a 4-hour drive. Oh my God, yeah, it's a beautiful. Why do I need to travel to Mexico?
Why do I need to go to Florida for vacation when there is ocean city in America?
Yo, bruv said it was giving Miami, Maldives, Turks and Caicos in one. He has these videos, and he for example, he compared Columbia, Maryland to London, and I wasn't sure whether or not he was fucking with us or not. And then I saw this video, and I said, no one in the history of has ever said Ocean City reminds them of the Maldives. And I said, oh, okay, he's fucking with us. But I love satire. So thank you so much to that, bro. I hope that cleansed your palate a little bit. Happy birthday. Coming from the chat to LJ. Y'all, flame emojis and heart emojis up for LJ. Libra extraordinaire out this motherfucker. We love Libras. We have, well, me myself personally, I'm Libra rising. I love Libras. I support Libra in all Libra endeavors. So flame emojis, hearts up, birthday cakes, all that shit for LJ. Shout out to LJ. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday. I hope it's an awesome one. Reverend Doctor. We got a Reverend Doctor in the family, y'all. And last but not least, let me send my deepest sympathies and condolences to the family of D'Angelo, the R&B singer, passed away. And I'm not sure, did he pass away today or yesterday, guys? But D'Angelo tragically passed away, reportedly from pancreatic cancer that he had been battling privately for the past year and some change. He was only 51 years old. Gen X, that it was a very sobering moment when I heard that D'Angelo had died. Not only did Brown Sugar really influence my teenage and young adult, soundtrack, as did Voodoo in college. Like, his music was always there, right? And well, there at very formidable times of my young womanhood. And it's timeless. Go back and listen to his songs. Ear Doctor and I just featured D'Angelo a couple weeks ago in Classical Breakdown. I think Ear Doctor replayed it again today. Like, the music endures. Like, the sound is still quite amazing. And I don't even know what to say. D'Angelo passing away, Angie Stone passing away in March of this year. My heart is broken for their children, for his other family members and other children. It was just a devastating news to hear. And on the piggyback of that, I also wanted to send my condolences out, going back a couple weeks now, to former NFL player Rudy Johnson, also from the Richmond, Virginia area. Rudy Johnson allegedly passed away recently from unaliving, which was a very difficult piece of news to hear. I was acquainted with Rudy when he was playing in the league because I knew the person who did his PR and his publicity. And we even chatted a little bit on the phone. And the one time, I think I told you guys, the time I saw TJ Houshmandzadeh in person and damn near fell on the floor because I've never seen a man that fine. But I was there to hang out with Rudy Johnson. You know what I'm saying? But again, just on some hangout, he was 100% a gentleman, cool guy, very nice guy. I was just really sad to hear that he had passed away again at a really early, young age in his 40s, allegedly via suicide. So, Black men, please, we love you. And I know the people try to tell y'all that I'm a misandrist, and that's a lie. I don't hate men at all. I love y'all. I want men, especially Black men, to be the most healthy versions of themselves, physically and mentally and emotionally. So please, brothers, do what you can for self-care. Do what you can to look out for your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health. We love you and we need you. And to Rudy Johnson and D'Angelo's families, and there are people that love them, I'm just very, very sorry that they're gone too soon. So, gang, please tune in tomorrow to the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be back on the Remix on Thursday. I'll see y'all back here on Friday. Happy birthday. birthday again to LJ. Thanks to all. Thank you to the mods. Latif, Sweary Fairy. Oh, Afra's in the chat. Hey, Afra. Heard you out there, big things popping, little shit stopping. Get it. Did you say why she was doing the thing? Congratulations, Afra, no matter what. Good luck. Buena suerte. Good luck on your audition. A smart person would put you in anything. So yes, not anything, something equivalent to the caliber of your talent, but anything that you audition for, you ought to get. So I wish you the best and hope that you got it. God said you already got it. Allah said it. So yes. So anyway, y'all be safe. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to our folks. Thank you to everyone. Do we have any other super chats to acknowledge?
Yeah.
Well, why is it every time you pop the mic open, it's almost like you fell out the car. It's like, open up the car door and thinking of fell out the car.
I'm doing the show in my car. What y'all mean? Y'all don't be doing shows in the car?
I guess not, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you be throwing me off too. When you said package, I was like, package? That ain't no, that's a white man looking at the camera. Yeah, ain't no
white
package.
man, I know.
No, it's all good. No, Cynical, thank you. Cynical said, I came in late, but are the sweaters on sale yet? Okay. They are
almost. They tomorrow they will be on sale. Cynical. I will post on YouTube and see if Molly can post on Twitter and wherever else we are. But there will be a code available tomorrow for y'all to get y'all cold weather BIDWKB gear, which by the way, we need y'all to buy things. Okay. we need 40 people a month to buy $20 worth of shit. Okay. And it's not shit, it's actually very good quality stuff. But
sliding that DM, Cynical. She ain't gonna remember. As soon as this mic go off, she gonna forget.
Lies. Okay.
Sliding that DM, Cynical. If you want that stuff, we need the support. So
we do.
Do what you got to do. Nah, we appreciate y'all. And again, shout out to Afra on her endeavor. Shout out to Latif. And yeah, I think that was it. That was all of the super chats for right now. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all for y'all patience. And yeah, y'all have a good night. Shout out to Nat A too. LJ, happy birthday.
Big up. Nat A. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like button, push buttons on your way out the door. Hype points, whatever the fuck that is. Push them shits too. Thank you so much. If you want to run some regular ass support, that's not regular ass, but you understand. Cash platform support, BIDWKB. That's us on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. Thank you as always to Will and Molly. Thank you to the mods, and we'll see y'all back here on Friday. Love you guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces.